more than once in those months. Feeling very blessed. I'm literally incredibly grateful for any trip I get to go on. But yeah, here today I am going to be talking about each one, putting in little montages from each trip, and I will link the playlist down below of every single trip I've vlogged, which is every single one of them. So if you want to watch them more in depth, you can. And let me know somewhere you want to travel in 2023. Might be on my list too, so let me know. Without further ado, let's get into this video about all the trips that I went on in 2022. Okay, so trip number one in January of 2022, I went to Florida with my mom and one of my newly best friends that I actually worked with at the pizza place where I used to work. And if you aren't aware, my family has a house in Florida. It's kind of near Disney, so that was our trip for January. So it was the first trip with one of my best friends, which was really cool. I had a couple more of those that we'll get to. It was chillier than normal in Florida, so we did end up going to Cocoa Beach while we were there, but overall the weather was just a little colder. In January, February, March in Florida, if you don't know, the weather can really go either direction. It can be a cold 45 degrees. It could be a cold or warm 60 degrees. It could also be 80. Florida is so crazy. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes is what they say. And that's definitely accurate. Like I said, we stayed in Cocoa Beach for a night, which was super fun. We got up for sunrise, even though it ended up being super cloudy and a little chilly, but it was still fun to sit there on the beach and just take it all in. We stay at this Marriott that's like so close, like literally walking distance to the beach, which is so incredibly amazing. And one of the brands I really want to work with in 2023 is Marriott. I know that's probably out of question, but because they are so big and like why do they need to work with somebody like me? But I would absolutely love to work with them. Anyway, we took so many photos for some fun brands on that trip. I had Princess Polly collab, Zaful, and Shein, I believe, all right before I left for that trip, so I brought so much of it with me to Florida to take pictures in. If you watch that vlog, I took photos, like 4 outfits in the morning before my friend got up, and then we'd go places and take photos. Such an amazing time. We explored some new shopping areas and restaurants in Cocoa Beach. So my mom and I have gone to Cocoa Beach like 2 or 3 times in the past, but we ended up going to different restaurants while we were there, which was kind of nice, and we really liked them. And we found like this Cocoa Beach like shopping area, which was really close on the way home. It was super nice, so I want to go back there next time when we go. Yeah, it was super fun to still find like new places to go out there. And then the last thing for that trip, I took Alina, my friend, to some of my favorite places. Like in Celebration, there's this restaurant I just love, basic ass like chicken fried rice and stuff, but the area of Celebration is just so cute. It's almost like Disney World's like town. And we took some cute vestie photos. I had this Princess Polly outfit in 2 different colors, and so we took cute pictures in that and took cute pictures in bathing suits, and you know, just took a lot of photos, which personally I love doing. So you can always look back on them. That was January. Sorry in advance, this video is probably going to be really long, but I hope you will stay to the end. If you do, leave me a comment about what my July trip was. Okay, February, I went to Virginia where one of my brothers lives, Tyler, with my mom. So actually that year, we got my mom this trip as a Christmas gift, which actually turned out to be even more amazing because my brother Tyler actually got COVID for Christmas last year. So he didn't even come home, so this trip was just even better. And I love traveling with my mom, as you guys may know, or you will find out if you subscribe and keep watching my videos. My mom and I love going on trips together. Nowadays we bring our dog if we can, and we just have a fun time together. So this trip, like I said, it was a Christmas gift. The weather wasn't too cold. It was like 50s, which Virginia isn't too bad. There were a couple days I think I remember it being really windy, but besides that, it was pretty good. It was my first cold trip after getting Pieces brand clothing, so that was really fun because I got to bring it on trips with me and take a picture. So that was my first cold weather trip, but I got to bring sweaters and jackets and whatever else I got from brand. And something my brother thought was super cool, and obviously so do I, is I actually got 3 of us a restaurant collab while we were there. So that's really cool. I love doing a restaurant collab, especially when I travel. I think it's really fun because I feel like you just get to know more about what goes on in like that town. We saw some amazing sunsets because my brother, where he lives, has an amazing rooftop, which I still haven't been there in the summer. An amazing rooftop with like a pool and like a whole grill grill area and stuff, but it's basically almost a 180, so you see the most amazing sunsets and the pictures are absolutely amazing. Got to shop in Zara, which my mother loves now also, and that's like a big thing to us just because we don't have one close to us here in Connecticut. And then we just did the typical jerky things. We watched a movie at Tyler's place one night with snacks, and Mom and I walked to breakfast one day, and Tyler came to our hotel room one day. We just did all the typical jerky things, which is always fun. Getting into March, by the way, if I didn't say it, I like made notes about every trip on my phone. That's what I'm reading. But March, we went back to Florida, my mom and Mocha. I want to say this was the first time we took Mocha on a trip with us, and we did the Florida house obviously because it's much easier to do that, and she did so well. We took Mocha to Celebration, we took her to Winter Garden, and all the other restaurants where we can sit outside, which is nice because obviously we don't want to take her and then just kind of leave her at the house most of the time. There was only like 2 times we maybe left her at the house, and that's because like Disney Springs, you can't have dogs, so like little things like that. That was March. Next up is April. I went to Boston and I went to New York, and 2 short day trips though this month. We went to Boston for the day. My mom, my aunt, and I, we went to Newbury Street to shop and eat. We love going there every once in a while just because it's a bunch of shopping in one place. It's not too far of a drive, and we like this restaurant out there. It's called Seasons 52. It's also in Florida and obviously a couple other places, but those are the 2 locations we usually go to. We love doing stuff with my aunt, so we went there. It was so fun. Again, got to go to Zara. Then I also went to New York for a day to celebrate my friend's 21st birthday. She goes to college in New York, and my brother drove best friend and I in, I want to say it was in Brooklyn, so we didn't have to like train, taxi, something, or try and find parking. It made it a lot easier, so I'll just say that. But along with that, the manager at the brunch place we went to for my friend's 21st, my brother and I were just like talking to about how I was like a YouTuber and a content creator. She gave us free shots, which I just thought was funny. So I just want to tell you guys that. That was April. Getting to May and June, the trips overlapped. I went back to Florida with Kevin, one of my brothers, my dad, and my other best friend, Olivia. I have multiple friends, Olivia. So fun, like so incredibly fun. It was such a last minute thing, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that trip just because it's so fun to travel with your best friend and like some of your family. And for the most part, this trip was super like relaxed. We didn't do too much, but actually Kevin, my brother, was moving to Jacksonville, so we took a day driving down to Jacksonville from where we are to look at apartments, and honestly that was super fun. It was nice and warm out, and then you know we got dinner, the whole thing, went to the beach. So fun, but like very chill. And it was just overall really fun to spend a day in Jacksonville because I follow so many influencers that actually live there, and so actually like visiting, so freaking cool. I think I'm going back to visit my brother Kevin in Jacksonville in February, so look out for that. I'm very excited. Maybe if I'm lucky I can meet up with some of those girlies, we'll see. But that trip was definitely fun, and like seeing so many things in Jacksonville, and it's just such a pretty area. Again, first stop was Zara when we were, I think when my brother and my dad first picked us up, because they got there like a day earlier than us, and we went into Tampa. So there's like a Tampa mall right there if you don't know, and there's like a Zara and like restaurants and stuff. So we went to Zara and this Mexican restaurant, of course. I love Mexican food. I photographed so many cute outfits from brands I was working with at the time. Again, think Principali, Zaffle, so many cute things. But also just the 4 of us on this trip, we always have a good time because Olivia has known me and our family for like 7 years, and it's just great. She's like a sister to me. She's like a sister to my brother. We're all a great time. Again, I took some cute bestie pics like I did with Lena, which is always fun and, you know, great for the gram. And I just love feeling so normal and comfortable vlogging with these people in my life. Kev, Liv, and I went to dinner, just the 3 of us one night, which was so fun even though it was pouring. Like I said, that trip went into June, so next is July. Alright, getting to my favorite month of the year, July. My birthday is in July, and my best friend Olivia's birthday is in July, and it's just such a good month. So I only traveled once out of the state in July, but I also just went on a bunch of adventures throughout July. So starting out, we went to Block Island the day before my birthday with my entire family. So freaking fun. I have never been to Block Island, so I really wanted to go, and obviously it's Rhode Island, so it's not too far for us. It's a short ferry, and I would definitely love to go back. We did some sightseeing, we walked so much, but it was literally so much fun. The whole day was just amazing. We all got sunburned, and the next day on my actual birthday, a bunch of my friends from work and just from whatever, 2 of my brothers and I, we all went to brunch because my birthday fell on a Sunday, which I've never done before, but honestly it was the best. And I turned 23. I don't know, it was honestly one of my favorite birthdays, just because the people I have in my life right now just make me feel so incredibly loved. It was just the most amazing birthday weekend. Just having that birthday brunch with my friends and my brothers was top-notch in memory moments. But then later in July, my mom and I went to the Greenwich Sidewalk Sale in Connecticut, which is a super fun trip for us to do. It is the 2nd year we've done it, just because we didn't know about it before then. So fun. Literally all those stores that you know on that main strip, including like Aritzia, Lululemon, Vineyard Vines, such big sales. And again, there is a Sweetgreens up there if you haven't heard of them. I don't have one near me. Greenwich is the closest, and it's just so yummy. Then, still in July, my mother, my best friend mom, my best friend Olivia, and me went to the Cheer show, which was on tour. It is a documentary on Netflix about cheerleading, obviously. Yeah, overall July was absolutely amazing. Again, Block Island, I would totally go back. It was so fun to see like all the, you know, special spots. So next we have August, so back to Florida with my mom and Mocha again for 2 weeks. I think this is the longest vacation I ever went on, and it was so fun. I don't think I would do longer than that, at least not there, because the last like 2 days I was kind of over it, but otherwise it was super fun. My dad actually came down for the 2nd week, so that gave us a nice little change of things. I got to shoot for some cool brands while I was down there, including Pura Vida, Captiva, and Zaffle. We went to Tampa to explore, which we don't usually do. We went to Trader Joe's in Tampa, which we don't usually do just because it's not typically very close to us, but we made a trip and like did a bunch of stuff in Tampa one day. Do like a little skincare night, a little self-care night, her and I. And then of course we baked our charcuterie boards with those things. On this trip we actually visited Kevin in his apartment in Jacksonville for like 2 days. I think we went to Sunrise and so many different restaurants. We went to the little Jacksonville like shopping center. It was such a fun like mini trip, and Mocha did so well in his apartment. We also went to IKEA for the first time. I've never been in one, but I've seen like plenty of like YouTube videos and stuff. Trying to train Mocha into being a beach dog. She loves running around on the sand. Her and Kevin like run for miles, and she'll like go towards the water, but then like as soon as the splash like comes, she'll like run the other direction. We then went to an acai place, which Anastyle I guess like photographed for or something in the past. Not that location I was at, but I know from like watching her. I love acai. It's so freaking good, guys. I highly recommend you just try it at least once. And morning walks, when we're down there, we go for so many walks, and it's just so nice and a change of pace, and it's usually always warm down there, so it's fine to do it early in the morning. The week that my dad was down there, it was actually his birthday, so we went to this insanely expensive restaurant in Doc Phillips, and it's an Italian restaurant, and it was absolutely amazing, but it cost an arm and a leg. I'm not sure we'll be going again, but it was a fun experience, and my dad doesn't really do much for his birthday, so it was nice that we could go out with him. And lastly, our house manager has a birthday very close to my dad, so he had a little birthday bash, and we went to that, which was super fun. And that is it for August. Coming into September was super fun as well. We always as a family do a family vacation every year for a week, and it's usually just at our Florida house, but my parents had previously gone here in the past year, so they thought we would like it. So our family vacation in 2022 was to Captiva Island in Florida. We went to a house on Verbo, VRBO, and we were actually there about a week and a half before the hurricane, which is so crazy, and obviously we're so blessed that we weren't there when that occurred, and I hope those people are really like coming back from that at this point. To see pictures after we left of places we literally like went to, like there was picture of a lighthouse and the lighthouse house. We were literally like on that beach, and then there's a picture that the house is completely gone and the water was up to the lighthouse. My heart goes out to those people. So incredibly beautiful there. But we basically stayed in this mansion on Captiva Island. It was 3 full floors, 4 I guess technically, 8-room pool. It was right across from the water and a restaurant, and then on the other side you could walk to the ocean on the other side also. And then we did the typical Durkee family things even on a vacation. And you know, there's so many nights that we played board games. We had a family trip to Target after the first 3 or 4 days of playing the same exact board games that we all brought, and we got some new ones, and that's actually when we bought Codenames, which if you haven't played that, is such a good game. And then it's amazing what excites me. Lastly, on the way home from this trip, we were actually on one of the Southwest flights, which was delayed. One of those Southwest flights that you see on TikTok playing games or, you know, doing whatever. We were on one of those. It was so funny, like, because they feel bad for us being like delayed and we're sitting on the plane and blah blah blah. We literally played this like toilet paper game. Each side of the plane had one, and they had to like roll it back over their heads. Whoever got it back first got a free drink. So that was pretty cool. But that was September. Let's get into October. October, we went to Martha's Vineyard to visit family, and when I say we, I mean my parents and I. It was supposed to be a trip for my grandmother, but then she wasn't feeling well, and my dad, brother, so my uncle and aunt actually live out there. It's so nice to be able to go out there and visit them every once in a while. And Martha's Vineyard is such a different world, and it's just so pretty and nonchalant. I absolutely love going out there. But we stayed in the cutest little house, again off of Verbo Via Rio, and we just love it. It was so cute and just big enough, very homey vibe, and we played board games and watched Netflix by the fireplace. Again, casual trips, but super fun to be around family. I wore a lot of Shein sweaters on this trip. I think every single sweater I wore was Shein on this trip, because I just got like a big order of sweaters and I loved them all, and they all gave me beachy vibes and all gave me Vineyard vibes. So I actually brought like all of them and just created outfits around those. But we also did a lot of fall things because it was October. So we went to the cutest little pumpkin patch and took pictures there. Some of my favorite pictures, they're on my Instagram if you want to go look. And we had a lovely breakfast collab at this place called Elias Coffee. I do not drink coffee, but it was a breakfast place basically. And it was so cool to actually get a collab out there on the island, because I feel like that was so unlikely just because they're so small out there. That was it for October, so let's get into November. We're coming into the end, I promise. So November was a girls trip. My mother and I went to New Hampshire, and as soon as we got there, we already decided we are going to go back next year and actually go earlier. So more in October when all the leaves are in bloom, and it is the absolute most gorgeous place on earth. As much as my mother and I make like the best of every situation and find so many things to do, obviously we kind of went there for the fall scenery, fall vibes, and we still got the fall vibes, but all the trees were kind of like dead by then, all the leaves were gone. So still a fun trip. Again, would go again, and we are going to try and go this year a little earlier. We also went off-roading, which was a little scary while we were there. It was like on the side of rocks and mountains, and it was pretty views, but again, I can only imagine how much more amazing it would be with all the leaves. So I think I might do it again when we go back, only because it'll be even prettier. I think it was like the Alpine Sports or something like that. We visited a super discounted Lululemon outlet in Kittery, Maine, which was super fun because my mother is newly obsessed with Lululemon, just like I am. We just, you know, we're like, oh, let's just like stop by Lululemon. We stopped at a lot of places on the way up that first night just to, you know, make the drive not as horrible, because I think it ended up being like 4 or 5 hours. And we get there and they're having like insane discounts on top of discounts. So I got the Groove pants actually in that like purpley color while we were there. I got the black like full zip fleece like sweatshirt, jacket, hoodie, whatever you will call it, and then I got this like beige tank that could like go under anything. The next cool thing that actually happened while we were there is I got 2 restaurant collabs, not just one. I got 2 while we were there, which was so freaking cool. I think this trip was like only like 4 days long. At Cheese Louise, so good. It was grilled cheese. Oh, amazing. And Wicked Fresh Burgers. I did prefer the Cheese Louise one more, but the Wicked Fresh Burgers were still like so good. Obviously, we have been watching Gilmore Girls, and that was the time that everybody was watching it, but so we were on the Gilmore Girl grind, and we like to think of ourselves as the Gilmore Girls as well. We continued watching that while we were there, so, you know, popcorn in bed, a little series marathon, and then we went to the most amazing local bagel and deli place. We went there 2 days in a row because it was so good. I can't wait to go back just to have that. We drove through the mountains and trees, which was absolutely gorgeous. There was literally a section where there was no service whatsoever. My phone literally said SOS on like the top right where the Wi-Fi would be. We walked to breakfast and got some treats and toys from Mocha. It's so fun and not too cold where we could still be walking around. You know, definitely shopped a lot on this trip. It was so fun. Found so many different areas, and I'm so glad we're gonna go back so we can go to the same areas. Maybe we'll find another one. It's gonna be nice to see everything in more of the fall era. That was it for November. Now let's get into December. All right, lastly we have December. Not too exciting. It was still exciting and I'm blessed for it, but December was just a day trip. So my mother's birthday is in December, and so we went to Boston for the day. Some of the things like I'm not mentioning is that like we went to a lot of cool places this year, obviously out of state, but also like within our state that we haven't done before. So also in December, like we went to this igloo thing that we saw last December and we wanted to try, so we did that. I mean, that's in Connecticut, so we did so many other cool things, but obviously this video is just focused on like the trips we went on. So we did do a day trip to Boston for my mom's birthday. It was my dad, my mother, and I. We are the magical trio, and it was fun. We went to this thing called the Holiday Market, which I was seeing all over TikTok and Instagram, and people I went to high school with had visited it. It wasn't as exciting as I thought it was gonna be. It wasn't a lot of like cutesy trinket stuff. It was kind of just like random stuff. It was still fun. It was still nice to walk around. It was definitely a little chillier that day, but we got these cute and so cool like hot chocolate that had like toppings, and they had different like flavorings in them. I don't remember which one my mom got. I got this like peanut butter Reese's one. So good. It was like peanut buttery, like tasting hot chocolate, and then it had like Reese's Pieces on top. It's just absolutely amazing. That was still fun. And we went to Sweet Greens while we were up there because there's one there too, and that is basically like a Chipotle if you haven't been. If you can't tell, a lot of the stuff is all about food. We're big food people, and yeah, we basically just took a lot of pictures also when we were there, which is always fun. Celebrated my mom's birthday. So yeah, but that is it for my trips in 2022. Obviously I will try to do this again this year, but I don't have a lot of trips already planned out. I understand how blessed I am that I could travel every single month for an entire year. That's 12 trips. Like I said, a couple of months I went on more than one trip, and I did other things around my state. So, you know, I feel very blessed. I love that I can share this with you guys. If you go to any of these places, definitely check out the vlog down below relating to each of these trips, and maybe go to one of these places. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. DM me on Instagram, comment on my TikToks, comment on this video, comment on one of those travel vlogs. I would love to hear that you guys tried something because I mentioned it to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing this long video of me talking about all these trips I went on in 2022. I think it was going to be a very educational video for you guys. If you got one thing out of this video, it was worth it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming along. If you made it this far, comment 2023 trips in the comments. Please be sure to subscribe before you leave, and follow my socials. They're down below, and the playlist with all my trips of 2022 are down there as well. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, have a great day.